In this video, we're going to go over 3 demonic references within the trench lore. The first 2 are possible patrons, one a goetic demon, the other a reference to a demon from ancient Mesopotamian belief, and then a reference to a creature within Lovecraft. So, welcome back to the trenches and let's begin. In the description of the amalgam, a creature under the influence of the Black Grail, the Lovecraft reference is made. In describing them, it says, these shoggoths shamble across the battlefield like walking mountains of corpulent, diseased flesh. It's fair to say that this is likely just a descriptive mention, but I've said more about less, so let's look at shoggoths within the lore of Lovecraft and see if we can tie them into Trench Crusade lore at all. We get a little description during the Mountains of Madness on what they seem to look like. Formless protoplasm, able to mock and reflect all forms and organs and processes, viscous agglutinations of bubbling cells, rubbery 15-foot spheroids, infinitely plastic and ductile, slaves of suggestion, builders of cities, more and more sullen, more and more intelligent, more and more amphibious, more and more imitative. Great God, what madness made even those blasphemous old ones willing to use and carve such things. That matches the malformed image of the amalgam well. The shoggoths were made by the elder ones as servants, but rose against those who had created them. The old ones themselves were ancient aliens, beings of immense size. The shoggoths can change their shape to fit their needs, move at surprising speed, and fight by enveloping their targets and removing the head of their victims. There's 5 in Antarctica and in deep parts of the world oceans. So next time you look at that Trench Crusade map, in isolated areas, think of the twisted Eldar architecture that might be in those unexplored areas where fluidly shaped creatures roam and cry out the words, Tekeli Li, Tekeli Li. And within the heretic priest lore, we have a reference to a Mesopotamian mythology, a god. It says, often pledged to a demon lord in hell, such as Pazuzu or Gwison, the profane gospels they recite terrify church forces, causing ears to bleed and eyeballs to burst in their sockets. Now, Gwison is a goetic demon, and we'll cover him too in this video at the end. But first, Pazuzu. Who is he? To answer that, let's look at Mesopotamians themselves. It's a place which, according to the Britannica, is in southwestern Asia, where the world's earliest civilization developed. The name comes from a Greek word meaning between rivers, referring to the land between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. But the region can be broadly defined to include the area that is now eastern Syria, southeastern Turkey, and most of Iraq. Now, outside of the reference in Trench Crusade, if you think that this civilization is not linked to the war between heaven and hell, you would be wrong. There are references that tie across according to gotquestions.org. Amongst the many, I picked out a few here. The mention of the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers in Genesis suggests that the Garden of Eden was located somewhere in Mesopotamia. The Synod of Strategic Prophecy has a secret headquarters, and it hints in that law it might be in a place close to God. Maybe it could be in the location of the Garden of Eden, safely tucked away. Abraham, Rebecca, who are mentioned in the Bible, are from there. The prophet Daniel and his 3 friends lived and worked in the Mesopotamian city of Babylon, the heart of the Babylonian Empire. Another tie to the Synod, the Babylonian Empire, was also located in Mesopotamia. They built the Tower of Babel, which the Synod copy in terms of its shape, when trying to reach out into the cosmos and hear the voice of God clearer. Gilgamesh, a Mesopotamian myth, is also believed to feature a tale of the flood, which was later mentioned in the Bible in an amended form. There is also another tie-in. According to bibleinterp.arizona.edu, the name of the heroic protagonist of the Gilgamesh epic may be found in a text from the Dead Sea Scrolls known as the Book of Giants. The Book of Giants is found in the first book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch gets its name from the biblical Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. Noah floods. You get the tie in there. In the Book of Giants, Gilgamesh is named as one of the giants killed by the biblical flood, an event which is detailed in another work, the Book of Watchers. Now let's get to that demon Pazuzu before I go off talking about the Watchers. According to the Britannica, Pazuzu in Mesopotamian religion is the king of wind, son of Hanpa and brother of Huwawa, or Humbaba, depending on how you want to say that. Adherents believe Pazuzu helped humans ward off other demons, and thus representations of his face served as popular amulets in the first millennia BCE in the Middle East. Pazuzu's body is similar to those of other Mesopotamian demons, but his head is distinct from all others. It is a rectangular shape with Capric horns, massive eyebrows, over-deep set round eyes, a canine jaw that displays teeth and tongue, a long two-pronged beard marked out by horizontal lines, and protruding ears. It's a combination of human and animal features, which nicely ties into how some of the demons within Trench are made by the court of the seven-headed serpent in that way. Written sources which appear starting after 670 BCE describe Pazuzu climbing a great mountain and undergoing mythological combat against powerful wind demons, a battle from which he emerged victorious and proved himself a threat to other dangerous demons. He's portrayed as a potential ally for humans who call on him for protection or display his icon, believing that incantations and appeasement could instrumentalize his malevolent power against other demons. I really like two elements of that for Trench. Him being an ally for humans, heretic humans clearly, and how he combats other demons, very in keeping with the court, and how it has an ever-changing hierarchy as the different factions compete for those top spots and thus fight each other. We of course here have to make a reference to the 73 film The Exorcist, which has a demon within it of the same name as the antagonist, and has raised the awareness of the name in pop culture, so it pops up in other places. Now that goetic demon, Guison. A demon of that type is a type of demon named in the Ars Goetia, or the lesser key of Solomon. Solomon is a key figure behind the power of the Iron Sultanate. The name Goetia is a reference to the commanding of demons. In ancient Greece, one translation of this term means witchcraft. The demon itself, according to Occult Live, is the 11th spirit of the 72 demons summoned by King Solomon, according to the Lesser Key of Solomon. In the hierarchy of hell, Guison is a strong duke. Guison tells all things, past, present and future, and shows the meaning and resolution of all questions you may ask. He reconciles friendships and gives honours and dignities to anyone. Astrologically, this spirit signifies jealousy. So let me know what you think to this background lore and how it ties into the Trench world that has been made so far. As I mentioned in the Lovecraft lore, some of it might just be descriptive references, but this is still fun to discuss. One of the things I like about the lore is these little references that I seem to miss on a first or second read. Now, what beliefs or references would you like to see brought into the lore? Do you think there's a limit on what can be brought into the lore? Before it becomes too crowded, doesn't fit the themes, etc. Let me know your thoughts, and if you like this video on the Trench Crusade, you might also like this one. I also have a Trench Crusade playlist on the channel with all my videos after they've been released stored there, so if you want a lot of lore, you could get a real hit from that. I also cover 40k. Now 40k shares a lot of real world reference DNA with Trench Crusade, a surprising amount in fact, so you might enjoy that as well. I have roughly one video coming out for that week, 3 when I've really got time, and there are 2 playlists for that on the channel. One has everything, and the other focuses on a subject I enjoy talking about, the dark age of technology.